2026 MLB season is almost upon us, and in celebration of the new season starting, I decided to rank every Dodgers player going into the 2026 season. Now, there are some ground rules for this ranking. First, I will be dividing the players into 3 categories: starting pitchers, relief pitchers, and position players. Second, this ranking is based on how good I think these players will perform in the 2026 season. The rankings are not based on what these players have done in the past, but rather what I think they will do in the future. Third, I will be ranking every player on the 40-man roster and 60-day IL, just to make sure I include every player who could potentially make the opening day roster. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into the rankings, starting with the starting pitchers. The 10th best starting pitcher on the Dodgers for the 2026 season is Landon Knack. Knack's role for the Dodgers next year is going to be filling in for injured players and making spot starts. I would be shocked if he makes the opening day roster, and I doubt he will get any meaningful innings this season. He isn't a horrible pitcher, but he's not very good, which puts him at the bottom of this ranking. At number 9, I have Gavin Stone. Stone was getting all-star consideration before getting season-ending surgery in 2024. He hasn't pitched since, but looks healthy and ready to go in spring training. Stone is a pitch-to-contact kind of pitcher with few strikeouts, which makes me question his ceiling. Putting Stone this low on the ranking might be controversial, but I just like the upside of the pitchers ranked above him. That, along with the uncertainty of how he will perform after his injury, puts him at number 9. At number 8, I have Roki Sasaki. Roki was great as a relief pitcher in the postseason last year, but I have reason to believe that success will not translate to success as a starting pitcher. Roki only has 2 good pitches, and when he isn't throwing 100 miles an hour, he only has 1. He is going to implement a cutter and a sinker into his pitch mix this season, so maybe that will help him as a starting pitcher, but the effectiveness of those pitches remains to be seen. Roki also has poor walk and swing and miss rates, which is concerning. He's ranked above Stone because of his upside, but I would not be shocked if Roki has a bad year. River Ryan is another starter coming off of Tommy John surgery, but he has looked good in spring training, so I'm not too worried about his performance. Ryan throws hard with good breaking stuff, and he pitched well in his brief time at the major league level. He isn't ranked higher because of his injury concerns and his general lack of innings under his belt, but if he can stay healthy, he can be a very effective pitcher. Dark Horse Rookie of the Year candidate if he makes the opening day starting rotation. Now that we've reached the number 6 spot, every player from here on out I believe should make the Dodgers opening day rotation. And the first player in that rotation is Justin Robleski. It might seem crazy to rank Robleski so high when he has a career 4.81 ERA, but that ERA is misleading. Robleski last year had a good strikeout rate, a good walk rate, and an elite barrel rate, and he has good stuff plus rankings according to Fangraphs. Another reason I believe in Robleski is because last year when the Dodgers had their backs against the wall, Dave Roberts put Robleski in to pitch Game 6 and 7 of the World Series. If the Dodgers believe in Robleski enough to have him pitch in some of the biggest games in franchise history, then I believe he'll be one of the 6 best starters for the Dodgers next year. The 5th best starter for the Dodgers is Emmett Sheehan. Sheehan was great for the Dodgers last year with a 2.82 ERA and a strikeout rate over 30%. All of his peripherals and underlying metrics look good, so there really isn't anything holding him back from being a really good starting pitcher other than health. Sheehan is also another guy the Dodgers trusted to pitch in Game 7 of the World Series last year, which makes me believe in him even more. Tyler Glasnow comes in as the number 4 starting pitcher, and the only thing holding him back is his health. When Glasnow pitches, he is elite. He has unhittable, overpowering stuff, but he just can't stay healthy. There aren't many pitchers in baseball who are better than Glasnow when he's healthy, but until he proves he can stay healthy on the mound for at least most of a season, I can't rank him as high as I'd like to. These next 3 pitchers are all elite, but I still have to put them in order, which puts Shohei Ohtani at number 3. As a complete package, Ohtani is the best player in the world, but as a pitcher, there are some guys who are better than him. Ohtani didn't pitch much last year, only throwing 47 innings in the regular season, but they were a phenomenal 47 innings. 2.87 ERA, 1.90 FIP, elite strikeout rate, elite walk rate, elite barrel rate, elite hard hit rate, elite whiff rate, elite velocity, elite breaking ball. There is nothing stopping Ohtani from winning the Cy Young other than volume, and maybe the 2 guys ahead of him on this list. Speaking of Cy Young awards, 2-time Cy Young Award winner Blake Snell is the 2nd best starter on the Dodgers. Snell is as good as any pitcher in baseball when he is pitching. You might not remember, but Snell was the Dodgers' Game 1 starter in the playoffs last year, and it was totally deserved. The only thing holding Snell back, similarly to Ohtani, is the innings. Snell only threw 61 innings last year, and Snell is already not going to be ready to pitch on opening day. The reason Snell is ranked higher than Ohtani is because Snell has proved he can pitch a semi-full season, while I'm not sure what kind of inning restrictions the Dodgers will place on Ohtani this year. For those reasons, I have Snell at number 2 and Ohtani at number 3. But the number 1 starting pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers next year is the World Series MVP himself, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I don't even need to explain why Yamamoto is the best pitcher on the Dodgers, but I will anyway. A 2.49 ERA across 30 starts last year, over 200 strikeouts, and a third-place Cy Young finish. There really isn't anything more you can ask out of your ace than what Yamamoto provides, making him the best starting pitcher on the Dodgers for the 2026 season. Before we move on to the relief pitchers, I would like to mention that relievers are volatile. This means their performance on a year-to-year basis is unpredictable and prone to fluctuation. Almost all of the relievers on this list have the potential to be effective last year, but you really never know. With that being said, I did my best to predict who will be the top relievers for the Dodgers next season, starting with the number 18 relievers for the Dodgers this year is Ronan Kopp. Kopp has never pitched at the major league level, and I doubt he'll pitch for the big league club this year, but he's on the 40-man roster, so I have to rank him. Kopp is super tall, has nasty stuff, and gets a lot of strikeouts, but his command issues keep him from being a major league pitcher at this moment, which puts him in last place. Does anybody remember when Bobby Miller was good? Because that was quite some time ago. I have no idea why Bobby Miller stinks now, but he has proven over the last 2 years that he cannot pitch at the major league level. He still throws hard and has good stuff, but until he shows any sort of improvement in his performance, I have very little confidence in him. At number 16, I have Kyle Hurt. Hurt has the makings of a good relief pitcher with his good changeup, but he's barely pitched over the last 2 years. Maybe someday he will find his way into the Dodgers bullpen, but I doubt he will contribute much at the major league level next season. Number 15 is Paul Gervais. Gervais is the tallest pitcher in franchise history at 6 feet 10 inches and has a ton of strikeouts at AAA last year. We have yet to see him be effective at the major league level, which is why he ranks low on this list. Will Klein, the absolute legend, ranks as the number 14 reliever on this list. Klein may be a World Series hero, but I need to see consistent major league success before I can move him up these rankings. He throws hard and has good off-speed pitches, but his poor command really holds him back. I'm rooting for Will Klein, and I hope he becomes a mainstay in the Dodgers bullpen for years to come. Number 13 is Ben Kasparias. Kasparias has good stuff, and he has been effective at times. His ERA is inflated due to his failed starting pitcher experiment, so hopefully a full year of being a reliever will be good for him. Similar to a lot of players lower on this ranking, until he shows consistent major league success, I can't rank him highly, but the potential is definitely there. Maybe I'm overreacting to one bad season, but I do not believe Blake Treinen will bounce back. Treinen used to be the best reliever on the Dodgers, but last year, everything went wrong. He couldn't throw strikes, and he couldn't get swings and misses. You add those problems to the fact Treinen can't get left-handed batters out and can't hold runners on first base, and you have an absolute disaster of a season. With Treinen turning 38 this season, I doubt he will be able to turn around. My bet is he gets the Chris Taylor, Austin Barnes treatment and gets cut midway through the season, but maybe he can bounce back, which puts him at number 12. At number 11, I have Jack Dreyer. Dreyer had a very good rookie season last year on the surface with a 2.95 ERA, but I am concerned about the underlying numbers. His walk and strikeout rates are not particularly impressive, and his stuff grades out as being fairly average. Maybe I'm wrong, and Dreyer will repeat his great season, but I am expecting him to regress next year. At number 10, I have River Ryan, and yes, some of the starting pitchers are also being ranked as relievers. As I already mentioned, Ryan throws hard and has good stuff. I would imagine he would be more of a long reliever than a late innings guy. I think right now he profiles better as a starting pitcher because of his variety of pitches, but I think he can be an effective reliever if the Dodgers choose to go that route. At number 9, I have another starter, Justin Robleski. Similar to River Ryan, I think Robleski has more value as a starter, but I could see him in the bullpen this season. I think Robleski can be an effective reliever this season, but he lacks the elite overpowering stuff that makes a great great reliever. I see Wrobleski as a high floor, low ceiling type of reliever. While I had Roki Sasaki ranked below River Ryan and Justin Wrobleski as a starting pitcher, I have him ranked above those guys as a relief pitcher. The reason is that Sasaki simply profiles much better as a reliever than as a starter. Starting pitchers need 3 good pitchers to be effective, but relievers only need 1 elite pitch to be effective. Roki has that 1 elite pitch with his devastating splitter, which is one of the best pitches in baseball. That means that inconsistent fastball quality and poor command is less of an issue as a reliever than it is as a starter. We also saw how good Roki can be as a reliever when everything is clicking, but the lack of swings and misses makes me nervous. If Roki can pitch like he did in the postseason over the course of a larger sample size, he would catapult up these rankings, but for now, he's number 8. Brock Stewart comes in at the number 7 spot. Stewart was traded to the Dodgers last season at the trade deadline, but he got injured almost immediately and didn't pitch much. Over his last few years with the Twins, Stewart was really good over a small sample size. Health has always been the biggest problem for Stewart, but if he can stay healthy and continue the success he had in Minnesota, he will be one of the best pitchers in this bullpen. Brusdar Graterol takes the number 6 spot on this list, and it has been a while since we have last seen Graterol pitch. Graterol has only pitched 7 regular season games over the last 2 seasons, which is definitely concerning. Even though Graterol has dealt with injuries, he has been so good when he has pitched. Brusdar throws gas and has great stuff, but strangely is more of a ground ball specialist than a strikeout pitcher. If he can stay healthy and maybe take up those strikeouts a little bit, you're looking at a great reliever at the back of the bullpen. Evan Phillips ranks as the number 5 reliever on this list, despite the fact he will probably miss half the season. It might be bold to rank him this high considering he might just not pitch at all this year, but that's a risk I'm willing to take because Evan Phillips is just that good. Evan Phillips was the Dodgers closer at one point, and for good reason, with a 2.22 ERA over the course of his time with the Dodgers. The injury does scare me, but if Phillips returns pitching like he was before his injury, he is going to be one of the best pitchers in this bullpen. Maybe the boldest take of the entire video, but I have Edgardo Henriquez as the Dodgers' 4th ranked reliever. Edgardo Henriquez is simply too talented to not be an elite reliever in the future. Henriquez had the highest average fastball velocity in baseball last season, complemented with elite breaking stuff. The only question with Henriquez is whether or not he can locate, but if he does, he isn't just one of the best pitchers in this bullpen, but one of the best relievers in all of baseball. Tanner Scott may have stunk last year, but he was so good in the past, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt and the number 3 spot on this list. I know I've made fun of Scott in the past, but I think there's a good chance Scott's bad 2025 was just a blip because his stuff didn't degrade at all from previous seasons. I think a combination of a poor approach and bad luck led to him having a bad year, but I expect him to do a lot better this season. The number 2 reliever on the Dodgers going into this season is Alex Vesia, who is simply everything you're looking for out of a relief pitcher. He has one of the best fastballs in all of baseball and elite strikeout numbers, and that's really all you need to be a great reliever. There are guys ranked below him with a higher ceiling, but Vesia has been so good for the Dodgers for so long that I feel like it would almost be disrespectful to have him ranked any lower. And finally, the best reliever on the Dodgers going into the 2026 season is obviously Edwin Diaz. Diaz signed with the Dodgers this offseason, and he is going to be the first elite closer the Dodgers have had since Kenley Jansen. Diaz is a very simple pitcher. He strikes everybody out. With a 38% strikeout rate and a 1.63 ERA, Diaz is one of the top 2 relievers in all of baseball and easily the best on the Dodgers. Next up are the position players, and before I begin the ranking, I would like to mention that the Dodgers 40-man roster could change before opening day, especially because of Tommy Edman's injury. I would imagine that the final roster spot would either go to Santiago Espinal or Nick Senzel. I'm not high on either of these players, and they would both rank low on this list, but I thought they were worth mentioning. Now, onto the ranking. Ryan Ward comes in as the lowest ranking position player simply because he has never played at the major league level, and I doubt he will get much playing time in the majors this year. Ward killed it at AAA last season, batting .290 with 36 home runs for a .937 OPS. The fact the Dodgers decide to play Michael Conforto over Ward all of last season makes me believe the Dodgers don't think Ward's minor league success will transfer to the majors. Maybe Ward will be a productive major league player someday, but that probably won't happen with the Dodgers. The first major league player on this list is Michael Ciani. Ciani is a defense-only center fielder, and when I say defense only, I mean defense only. Ciani absolutely cannot hit, but he is an excellent center fielder, making him essentially a one-trick pony. I would compare him to Justin Dean from last season. There is a place for players like Ciani, but that place is definitely not the batter's box. Maybe my hottest take of the video, but I do not understand the Hae-Sung Kim hype. I know that he hit 280 last season, and I know he's doing well in spring training, but I have so many issues with his offensive profile. Kim's strikeout, walk, and barrel rates were all horrible last year, and it's impossible to be a good major league hitter if you're bad in all three of those categories. Kim has value as a utility man with speed, but until I see changes made on offense, I won't believe in his bat whatsoever. At number 15, we have the former top prospect Dalton Rushing. Rushing was the Dodgers' #1 prospect before being called up to replace Austin Barnes last season, and he struggled a lot when he reached the majors. Rushing has a lot of power and a great eye at the plate, but I wonder if being a part-time player affects his performance. The talent is there, I'm just waiting for the performance. Miguel Rojas, the hero of last season, is going to come in at number 14. Rojas is entering his retirement season at the age of 37, and he will certainly get a hero's exit. Rojas is a defensive shortstop with decent bat-to-ball skills, but very little power. He has value as a leader and somebody who can give Mookie Betts a day off at shortstop, but that's not what this ranking is valuing. Maybe I'm counting out Mickey Rowe because of his age, but it's hard for me to rank a 37-year-old defensive shortstop high on these rankings. Number 13 is going to be Kike Hernandez. Now, if this was a ranking based on postseason performance, Kike would rank a lot higher, but it's not, so he's at 13. Kike's value at this point in his career is the fact that he can play every position besides catcher. Besides playing every position well, he doesn't do a ton outside of that. He steps up in big games and big moments, but overall, he's mainly just a veteran utility player. At number 12, we have a guy you probably didn't even know was on the Dodgers, Jack Suwinski. I have no idea what the Dodgers' plan is with Suwinski this season, but he's on the roster, so he's getting ranked. Suwinski is similar to James Outman in the respect that they're both left-handed power-hitting outfielders who had a great 2023 season and then fell apart after that. The Dodgers have a reputation of finding diamond in the rough kind of players, and I think Suwinski is a decent candidate for the Dodgers' next success story. I don't know what kind of playing time Suwinski will get in 2026. He might even get cut before opening day. Kike, Miggy Rowe, and Kim will probably provide more value to the Dodgers next season than Suwinski, but Suwinski is ranked higher because I think he's the better player in a vacuum. Next up, we have the player I hope is the Dodgers' opening day second baseman, Alex Freeland. Freeland is a switch-hitting shortstop and a former top prospect in the Dodgers system. Freeland showed good tools in the minor leagues. He took walks, had power, and played a good shortstop. His minor league success has not transferred to the major leagues, but if he gets everyday playing time, hopefully he will perform better. Number 10 is Alex Call. Call might not be the best everyday player, but he is a great fourth outfielder. Call plays solid defense and has good walk and strikeout rates at the plate. The problem with his game is the lack of power. Kind of a boring player, but he gets the job done when you need him to. Tommy Edman comes at the number 9 spot, and Edman is not going to be ready for opening day. Injuries have been a problem for Edman over the last few years, but Edman has shown he can be a good player at times. He can play all over the field, with second base being his best position. My issue with Edman as a player is that he had a .274 on base percentage last season. For a guy who doesn't hit for much power, that's pretty bad. Edman needs to hit better next season, or his starting spot might be in jeopardy. Number 8 is Teoscar Hernandez. After an all-star season for the Dodgers in 2024, Teoscar took a huge step back in 2025. Hernandez has always had holes in his game, most notably his poor defense and strikeout rate, but last year those problems became much more apparent. Teoscar can still hit 30 home runs a season, but a .284 on base percentage from a guy who can't play defense is kind of unacceptable. Hopefully Teo bounces back, but last year was not pretty. Max Muncy comes in at the number 7 spot. Muncy does one thing really well. He is an elite power hitter hitter against right-handed pitching. The problem is that's kind of all he can do. Over the last few years, Muncy's defense and splits versus left-handed pitching have become pretty bad, but you can ignore those things because he destroys righties. Muncy has also had injury problems over the last few years, and I know that not all of those injuries are his fault, but it has become a bit of an issue. Andy Pages had a super underrated season last year, and I feel like Dodgers fans didn't give him enough credit. It's probably because he was terrible in the playoffs, but did you know that Andy Pages had the second most home runs in the Dodgers last year? Sure, Teo and Muncy were both injured, but Andy Pages still hit 27 home runs last year while playing great defense in center field. Hopefully Pages will take another step forward next year, but as it stands, Pages is a borderline all-star. It pains me to do this, but I have Mookie Betts ranked at number 5. Mookie had his worst season last year, and there is reason to believe it's a sign of regression rather than just an outlier. Mookie has simply lost the power he used to have, and it really affected his offensive output. Mookie's bat speed has gotten worse each of the last 3 seasons, which is really concerning considering Mookie is entering his age 33 season. He's a future Hall of Famer, and he did a great job at shortstop last year, but I need to see the elite production return before I can call him an elite player again. Next up is one of the best hitters of the last decade, Freddie Freeman. Freeman had another great season last year, but each year I wonder how much longer he can keep up his elite hitting. Freeman looked noticeably less agile last year, and his walk and strikeout rates both got worse. Freddie Freeman is another Hall of Famer, so I need to see regression in order to believe it, but I would not be shocked if Freeman takes a step back next year. But even if he does, there's a lot of room to go down. Starting the top 3, at number 3 is Will Smith. Will Smith is such a good hitter, and getting great offense from a catcher is a rarity. The 404 on base percentage is ridiculously good from any player, let alone the guy who has to squat and call pitches every game. Smith hasn't been super consistent over the years, and 2025 felt like the season we all knew he had in him, but never achieved previously. The only thing holding Smith back is the fact that he doesn't play 162 games. If Smith played like he did last year over the course of a qualified sample size, he would probably be an MVP candidate. The number 2 spot is going to go to the newest Dodgers star, Kyle Tucker. Tucker signed this offseason to play right field, and he is immediately going to slot into the number 2 spot in the lineup. Tucker had a down season last year, but if a 841 OPS is a down season, you must be pretty great. Tucker is simply one of the best and most complete hitters in all of baseball. As long as Tucker stays healthy, which has been a bit of an issue recently, I expect him to have a monster season with all of the lineup protection he's going to have. And finally, at the number 1 spot, we have the best baseball player in the world, Shohei Ohtani. There's nothing I even need to say about Ohtani to justify this position. Everybody knew he was number 1 before the rankings even started. He's won the MVP each of the last 3 seasons. He's had a 50-50 season. He set the Dodgers single season home run record in 2024 and then broke it in 2025. When it's all said and done, he will probably go down as the greatest player to ever wear a Dodgers uniform. So that is every 2026 Dodgers player ranked. I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you agree or disagree, you can leave a comment on this video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.